Welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, and helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope readings for July 2022 for your North Node by sign and house. So not your sun, moon, or ascendant sign, but your North Node by sign and house. So you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, as most of you know, the reason I use the North Node as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant is that it's recognized in astrology that the North Node is the path that you were born to learn, the path that you were born to take, and so it's your North Star. And so it's much more relevant to your everyday life. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is going to be your monthly Tarotscope reading for July 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. And while I'm shuffling and connecting to the energies, I want to invite you to just relax, take some deep breaths, close your eyes if you wish and if you're able to, and just kind of open yourself up to receiving any information that's going to be most relevant to your life. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, so the spread on this side of the table represents the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th, and this side represents the second half of the month from the 16th on. Now, the card here in the middle, this is your overall kind of theme that's weaving in and out of the whole month here. Yeah, really interesting month. Okay, so the first thing that popped into my head when I saw this Queen of Swords, okay, was the phrase being cool. Being cool, calm, and collected and detached, but overall just being cool. And it made sense. And then what's happening this first half of the month is that, so why would being cool and detached, be important? Well, your North Node is in Aquarius, okay, and or the 11th house, okay, ruled by Saturn and Uranus. And yes, Uranus it has a fiery side, but normally Saturn balances that out. And what you'll see that one of the key words for Aquarius and or the 11th house is being detached. And not detached in a bad way. In your case, it's about, detachment is about playing it cool. Okay, think of that. Not being cool, but playing it cool. Playing it cool. And the reason that's important is because remember, your South Node, your superpower is in Leo and or the 5th house, which rules, passion, creativity, being able to be seen, drama, okay, all of these, they're wonderful things, but they're not supposed to really play a major role in this life. So picture like, I'm going to paint a picture for you so you could understand what I'm talking about. So you see someone that, while you're at a party and, everyone's kind of having a good time and you're just kind of chilling there, and you see someone come in and they're just like, obviously wanting to be in a, attention grabbing. They're being maybe loud. They're like, like boisterous and just kind of like, like, look at me, like, person who wants a lot of attention. Okay. And you're just like, oh, okay. And then you see another person come in and they just kind of like, slide in. They might have like shades on, they take them off and they're just like, hey, what's up? And they're friendly, but they're being like detached. They're like playing it cool. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, that person's, there's a, an air of mystery about them or whatever. And the other ones, you just, that other side. So like being passionate and outgoing and dramatic is all good in its place. But when we have anything, when we have any of the negative tendencies of the fifth house or the negative tendencies of Leo, a lot of times it plays out in this lifetime as kind of like, it could be like, it could come off, obnoxious. Now, the other part is, when playing it cool, is when we're confronted with an issue. There could be that fiery side of like, reacting. So we're talking about reactions, things, or that are said, as opposed to being detached and saying and playing it cool of like, there's something to be said for, there's a time for passion and fiery energy, and there's also a time for calm, cool, calculated collectedness. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Neither are positive, neither are negative. It depends on the situation. In this particular situation, what I'm getting is playing it cool, keeping it calm, cool, and collected is going to help you. Now, the first half of the month, the way this is going to play out is there's a lot of things that could be happening. Okay. I'm seeing authority figures that you're having to deal with. So we're talking about a parental figure. It could even be parental, governmental, academic, any sort of authority figures that you're dealing with. Okay, teachers, professors. And so the parental figures, it could be someone you're dealing with currently, or it could be in the past, okay? But I'm seeing that it's negative. You've got the Emperor reversed. Now, the other thing, too, with authority figures is I do see like there's some negative things going on. We're talking about, even though the Emperor and the Empress cards are not gender specific, a lot of times with the Emperor, we're talking about like a more masculine energy. And of course, the Empress could be a more, feminine energy. But like I said, they're not gender specific. And then I'm seeing like the Three of Swords. I'm seeing like a wounding that's going on. And authority figures, it could be, there's a lot of right now going on, a lot of misogyny that's rearing its ugly head in life right now that we're dealing with. And all genders are dealing with that, just old thinking and whatnot. But here's the thing. What is going to help you is keeping a calm, cool, collected, detached, way of going about things and reacting, whatever the situation is, because there is something this first 2 weeks that is going to trigger you. Now, it could go one of two ways. If the situation is not handled in a very, I'll say, good manner, or the the most optimal manner, if you will. Okay, if it's not, it could end up to where, like, after that 2 weeks, it could cause like a lot of anxiety, okay, for you. Okay, so we're talking about, like mental anguish and anxiety. That's why this is a heads up before you get to that point of not reacting too quickly, okay, not jumping to judgment. Your two advice cards here are Justice reversed and the Eight of Pentacles. Now, what is the Eight of Pentacles, which is normally like a work, or the work you do, or being like a craftsman, craftsperson? What does it have to do with, what we're talking about here? What this is that where you want to put your energy is not in the reactive mode or reacting to situations, whatever this is, but doing it in a calm, cool, collected manner. It doesn't mean you're not feeling emotions. You are. You're just not reacting or being reactive to them. But what you're doing with this is also, remember, the swords in the tarot deck not only rule all the air signs, but they rule the intellect, mind, and communication. So what you're doing is, after you're keeping yourself from reacting, overreacting, and you're playing it cool, you're using your mind to calculate the best way ahead. So this is where the Eight of Pentacles comes in. What you can actually proactively do about it. See? So like the way this could play out is, if this situation is handled in old patterns, like we're talking about fifth house, fiery energy, Leo energy, like the negative side of Leo, where you're emotionally hurt, they're emotionally hurt, and this thing could it could be like, like a fire that is like blowing through, like, a dry field or something, and it's like, oh, dealing with it. It could be like made into a bigger monster than it has to be. That's what I'm trying to say. So when you don't react to it negatively, but you're able to be proactive, and that's what this is. You're being proactive and you're working toward that solution, so you don't necessarily have to get to that point of anxiety. So it's a heads up that there's a way, and that's what this is training you to do. You might say, well, why is this happening right now? Why am I dealing with that? Okay, it's because of your North Node. You're learning Aquarius ways. You're learning 11th house ways of what we talked about. Remember, playing it cool. Okay, now the second half of the month. What am I seeing here? Now, it's interesting. We've got the Ace of Wands, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and then we've got the Ten of Pentacles upright. Okay. What is happening here is that the second half of the month, you are going to learn the proper way of using your superpower. Again, what is your superpower? Your superpower are the gifts of Leo and the gifts of the fifth house. So we're talking about creativity, we're talking about passion and fiery energy. The second half of the month, here's what the situation is. I feel like there's going to be a situation where you could be the person that inspires another person or a group of people, because with this reverse pentacles, this is telling me almost like someone is down. I'm feeling like depression, or they need like picked, being picked up. They need inspiration. And so that's the proper use of that creative Leo energy, or the fifth house energy, is inspiring others and being able to be there as a spark to lift them up. In this is a situation where, if you're dealing with someone that needs you, or a group of people that need you, they don't want like, calm, cool collectedness, detachment. No, they want like inspiration. They want warmth. They want like, passion. Okay. So you're going to have an opportunity this second half of the month. I see that, as I said, either a person or a group of people where you can use your superpower of the Leo and the fifth house energy, okay, into something positive. Now, where could that lead? Well, really positive areas for you. The ending result for this whole reading, if you're able to like recognize all of this and and do this, we're talking about 10 of Pentacles, okay? We're talking about like this is sometimes means generational wealth, but what I'm seeing for you is creating, I know this might sound like wild, but like creating like your legacy, because we all have legacies. We do. We all have our individual life paths and stories, and we all are in the process of creating, you know, our legacy. But, when you are able to help a person or you're able to help a group of people, how does that help your legacy? So I'll give you a quick example. Someone needs your help. They need lifting up. They need the gifts of your passion and your inspiration, everything that the fifth house in Leo says. And you were to help them. And you help them maybe out of a dark place through that inspiration, okay? And care and passion, okay? They get out of that and then they tell that story, I was in a really dark place, but this person in my life came in and they were able to tell me what I needed to hear. They were there for me. They were there with their heart and their passion and their inspiration, and they were to help me. And they tell this story, and then like that's a legacy. Like you're creating this legacy of, you do this enough times. See, so that's what this is all about. Just remember the second half of the month. I don't want you to get confused in this. Look for ways to properly use your natural abilities. And it is going to be in the form of either helping somebody or a group of people. Now, your advice cards: reversed Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. You don't want to hold on. You're learning when to hold on to your gifts and when to let them go. Because as I said in the beginning of this reading, and I gave the example of walking into a party, you're not, the bad use of Leo is they're just like a fire hose spreading Leo all over, like, look at me. Okay, just a hose, just too much, okay? And so you're learning when to bring that side out in you, when to bring that Leo side out. So that's what this is: when to hold on to it and when to bring it out. And when you bring it out, look what happens here. You've got the Queen of Swords for your overall. This is like playing it cool, detachment. And then you've got the Nine of Pentacles. These are both independent individuals. And this one over here, the Nine of Pentacles, well, she's sitting in her garden of delights and luxury. And, she has, her hobbies. She's relaxed. She's an interesting person. Like, she lives in an interesting house. She dresses in an interesting way. She has interesting hobbies and interests, okay? And again, the calm, cool collectedness. A lot of people, this is the classic Rider-Waite deck from the early 19th century, or late 19th century, I should say. And down on the bottom of this Pentacles, a lot of people miss this, but there's a little snail. Curious, right? Little snail in this. Now, when Pamela Coleman did the artwork for this, all of the artwork on this deck is not random. Like, down to the colors and the shapes, it all has very, very deep, you know, esoteric ideas. So what does the snail represent? Again, the ability to enjoy life in a calm, cool, collected way, to have the time to do it, not rushing around, not trying to prove anything to anybody. You can go at a snail's pace. You can go at whatever pace. It's going at your own pace. That is the ultimate of coolness, right? So think about, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in your life right now, okay? You're learning the art of coolness, okay? And it doesn't mean a lot of you aren't cool right now, but I'm just saying that you can, a lot of you that have this North Node are tried to give these Leo gifts to the world. And when they're thrown out there, like I said, in a fire hose, even though they're you have a lot of great gifts, they're not really accepted by the world because they have to be used properly and they have to be used in the right way, at the right time, in the right amount. Okay, so that's simply what you're learning. So yeah, great information here for you. I was really I'm really excited for you because this is like a real like game changer. Please, if you rewatch this reading, because I don't want any of you to feel like the anxiety that could come from that. Just remember, keep your cool, be detached, and use it in the proper way, and you're going to see like a lot of really positive changes in your life. So thank you for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing, spending some time. Really appreciate it. If you can hit that like button, it really helps me out. Would appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading, there's going to be a link in the description box below. So feel free to get some more information on that. And we will see you again on some more videos. Many blessings.